Oh, we have reached the boiling point, hopefully, with the 7-Eleven situation where my life was threatened by the employee at 7-Eleven. So what happened? If you've been keeping up with my channel, you know that I was harassed by the employee. I was harassed again by the employee. I asked 7-Eleven to deal with the whole situation. They kind of dropped the ball on the whole situation. The regional came in. She was kind of like, I was like, all right, whatever. I actually recently decided to kind of let it go. And didn't even think about 7-Eleven, and I walked down the street, and lo and behold, the man started yelling at me, and he said, "You better not effing come in here." And then he went on to tell the employees, "I'm gonna effing that little guy up." And I was shaken. I was shaken. There was a man who came by, love him, an amazing blessing. Because at that moment, and of course, in the previous situation, my friend had been there, and he had seen the harassment. So there's various witnesses. And of course, if you watched any of the videos, how it started, and I'll tell you a little bit about how it started. So it started because I'm a very friendly person. Sometimes people get confused with my friendliness. They think that I'm attracted to them. And that's oftentimes very wrong. And I can sense it in people. I like to clear it up, just letting them know there's no way in hell I would ever do anything sexual with you. Never. I'm just really friendly. It's like a Disney cartoon character. They popped out. I am the Lord's favorite child. Because it's always about pleasing the Lord. Some people might say I'm mentally ill, but I personally have this insane alignment with the light, to the degree that I appreciate the darkness, and its power and what it can do. So I've gone there and I've gone there and I've made a lot of friends. So I don't like getting angry. I just like, because if I get angry, my friends get angry, and then the reality, that's not good, I have a history. So, so what happened? So I was notified that the employee thought that I was attracted to him. So I wanted to clarify the age. So I walked up and was like, "Hey, listen, just letting you know, I'm not attracted to you." At that particular moment, the employee started to yell, "Well, you have AIDS," to everybody in the store. And I was mortified. I was like, first of all, how do you know that? Because I was having a conversation with somebody else as I was buying something, and one of the employees happened to be there and overhear the conversation, and she happened to tell that employee, whatever, they had issues, but that employee then used it against me in order to humiliate me in front of the customers. So that was happening. Called, and my way to my house, I actually bumped into my neighbors. My neighbors told me that the gal was telling people on the street that someone, not necessarily me, in all honesty, was telling people. So I was like, okay. Called 7-Eleven, made the situation, filed the report, whatever. Didn't hear back from them. Then I decided to be proactive, address the situation. All I really wanted was to sit down with the employees and say, that's not good. It's painful. It's painful to humiliate a human being, and quite honestly, there was a great deal of light, because my intent to help this person was because they wanted to do comedy. I do comedy, so I thought we could work together and reveal a great deal of light together, like a child does. I have a very childlike kind of way of looking at life, and oftentimes that throws people off because they think, I was like, does that mean sex? It's like, no. If you took your clothes off, I would run and call the cops. So I'm that kind of person. So, dealing with all of that. So then my friend wanted to pick up something up that they had, at a reasonable price there. So I went down there with him. I waited outside, and the individual that harasses me started making kissing noises. Like, oh, really? Seriously? Made a complaint to the store manager. The store manager was kind of like, oh, okay. They just weren't receptive. I had already talked to the regional manager, being like, are you seriously? Like, seriously? You're not going to, have us sit down and have a conversation? I'm not even asking for the individual to get fired. I'm just asking to have a conversation and open up a dialogue that I am a human being. I'm not just some kind of thing that can be treated in a specific way, because I've satisfied your personal needs. So to be angry, I don't understand. But I know Kabbalah, so I know that from the greatest darkness comes the greatest light. I believe in that. I really do. It's just that at some point in time, individuals need to be like, we need to come together and look at both sides and look at both aspects. So all those things, So Does it bother me that the individual threatened my life? Yeah, it bothers me that it's gotten to this point. It started, back in like Thanksgiving, and I didn't think about filing a report. I didn't think about doing really anything. I just felt like keeping it within 7-Eleven. But when the life threatening came in, that's when I was like, yeah, no, we're not those people. And it's not even about my life. It's just about humanity in general. And it's also a lesson to individuals that regardless of how angry and how furious you are in an individual, you cannot threaten physical harm and threaten someone's life. We can't be that society, because that's how it turns into shootings, that's how it turns into people one eye for the other, and everybody ends up dead, right? I mean, and then we're all like marching, be like, oh, stop shooting, oh my gosh, why is this the president? And it's just like, because we're making these small choices at the smaller level that are rippling out. So with my magical prowess, there's that Joker spark in me, that magical. Like if you gave the Joker like unlimited control of magical abilities. Now, once again, disclaimer: some people may say that I'm mentally ill, but I say it's magic, and I can prove it. I don't say I want to prove it. I won't prove whatever. That's a whole different issue. The moral of the story is, if we end up doing an eye for an eye, we wage wars that destroy everyone in our vicinity. Companies, people's lives, can I walk down the street without being threatened? I was talking to my friend and how women get harassed, and it brought me to that point to understand, because I didn't want it to have a one person dialogue. I wanted to be like a conversation with the person, be like, like, how does that feel? Like, how for you, has that ever happened to you, and how does that feel? And I love you, Cosette kisses out to you. So, yeah, what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? 707. Wish you a wonderful, wonderful eternity.